Hello everyone. So today's video was inspired by a conversation that I had over the weekend with a young professional, and the question that she asked me was with regards to how she can create an International Women's Day campaign for her organization. And I thought, this is actually the season where a lot of you are thinking about what to do for International Women's Day if you haven't thought about it before. So I'm just going to share a few tips on how to create a campaign that will not only align with the trend, because it's now a trend, but that helps you to put out messaging that really resonates with your target audience. Now, the first thing that I'm going to say is, at the beginning of every year, I really advise you to go through the UN. There's this UN calendar that has all the dates in the year. So Women's Day, Day of the Girl Child, Day of Science. Look at the whole thing from January to December and see the ones that apply to your organization so that you're not caught last minute. Sometimes a few years ago when I was running my agency, I'll just wake up and say, today is International Book Day or something like that. And my client's like, let's do something, and we're scrambling. But I then learned, a few years later that, look, they already even publish all of these dates in advance, so you can know what dates exist, what ties into your industry, what ties into what your audience wants or prefers, and what ties into the key messages of your organization. So that's one of the first things I'm going to tell you to do. So you haven't done that, please do it. You'll see so many days that you can really tie into. And why are these days important? They're important because there is a hashtag that will trend on those days. So it's an opportunity for you to showcase your brand and positively and meaningfully contribute to the conversations that will happen on those days. So let's come back to International Women's Day. International Women's Day is March 8th. It's usually celebrated on the 8th of March. But what has happened over the years is that the entire month of March it's called Women's Month. So you literally have the liberty to do your campaign or do whatever it is that you want to do throughout the month of March. But organizations always usually target the 8th of March to send out a message or send out something. Now, how should you approach your International Women's Day campaign? First of all, I want you to think about what you want to achieve. I think that every time you listen to me talk, I'm always going to ask you this question: what do you want to achieve? What do we want to achieve with this campaign? No longer should it be that, let's just jump on the trend for the sake of it. No, it's not a good use of your resources. It's not a good use of your time. And then by the end of the day, when you do whatever activity it is that you do, how are you going to show the impact if you didn't have an objective in the first place? So think about what it is that you want to achieve. Now, the second thing that I want to say is that think about using International Women's Day as a day to really showcase something impactful about your organization, something that really puts your organization ahead of the game in terms of conversation with regards to women. And how can you do this? It's by looking inward and saying, what story do we want to tell? How do we want to show that we support women? How do we want to contribute to, helping women or closing the gaps or bridging the gaps that women have faced and the challenges that they've seen? If you look at the history of the International Women's Day and the themes that they come up with, it's really to drive that inclusion, drive equity and all of that for women. How are you contributing to that conversation? An example of a campaign that you can go and look at is LinkedIn and Dove. I really like how Dove over the years have, done meaningful campaigns that have social impact embedded in it. And they're doing this campaign with LinkedIn where they are trying to push support for the Crown Act so that, Afro hair is not seen as unprofessional. And that's really impactful. That's really timely. And that's something that will stand the test of time. So yes, they are going to get the leverage of International Women's Day, International Women's Month. But even beyond now, people are going to remember this campaign because it's about something useful and important to the target audience. So you need to ask yourself, what do we want to contribute to this conversation where women are concerned? Now, it is also an opportunity for you to tell the stories of the women in your organization. Typically, what I've seen organizations do over the last few years, and let me tell you, when I ran my agency, because about 80% of our clients were women, March was like our busiest month. We're always busy running campaigns, so we've done a lot. I've done a lot personally. And you'll find that, so for example, an organization will do a photo shoot with their senior managers, or, they'll just showcase their female employees. But even beyond that, I want you to think about the story that you want to tell. If your organization is truly an organization that supports women and creates an enabling environment for women to thrive, let us hear these stories from the women's perspective. Let us hear how your organization has helped them to grow. Let us hear how your organization has helped them to achieve their dreams. How is your organization ensuring equal pay for women even within the organization? How are you supporting those on the lower cadre to be able to rise? How are you supporting women that get pregnant so that they don't fall off the career ladder? Those are the kind of stories that you want to be telling, because those are the challenges that women have faced. And you may also want to spotlight the people that work behind the scenes, the women that you don't typically see in these campaigns. What are their stories? How have they benefited from being a part of your organization? What does being a woman in today's world mean to them? And why is it important that your organization, is in this conversation? So you need to think about the women. It's not just about your organization. It should be about the message that you want to promote. And I think that it's great to look inward. It's great to tell the stories of the women. It's great to showcase. And this only applies if your organization has the culture that's supporting women, because a lot of brands come and they do these fanciful campaigns and ads, but then internally they have policies that are not helping women. So it can also be a time for your organization to do something constructive. It's a time for your organization to do something that really, really helps and supports women. And another angle you may want to think about it is, how can we also reward our women? How can we show them that we love them? How can we show them that we care for them? If you come from that internal perspective, what you're then able to do is the women go out and really say, see what my organization has done. They're really, really touched by the genuine and authentic, please, I'm really emphasizing it, genuine and authentic gesture that the organization has done. And that also amplifies the visibility of whatever campaign that you have done. So yes, do the creatives and the funny, the witty captions and copywriting, or the slogans. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. But think in terms of impact. Think in terms of the key messages of our organization. How can we tie it into this campaign? How can we tie it into what we want people to know about our organization where women are concerned? And if you're an organization that you have a large percentage of women, try and do something that puts women at the center, getting to hear their voices, getting to hear their concerns. In fact, you can also bring in your female customers as well into the campaign. So there's so many ways that you can go about creating your campaign. But like I said before, the most important thing, or one of the most important things that I want you to think about is, one, what is our objective? What are we trying to get out of this? By the end of March, what do we want to see? How do we want to, in terms of our share of voice, what percentage do we want to occupy in the International Women's Day conversation? And then the second thing is, what impact do we want to have? So beyond the graphic, beyond the videos, how are we changing the narrative? How are we contributing towards supporting women? How are we showcasing our women, showcasing our culture, showcasing what our organization is bringing to table in this discourse? I gave you the example of LinkedIn and Dove. They're doing something and it is authentic. It resonates a lot with African American women, and that's something that you think about. So don't just think about now, think about the long term. How does this really position our organization as a truly supportive women, I don't want to say women-led, but a truly supportive brand that, pushes women forward, that supports women, not just the women that, we serve in terms of our customers, but even our women at every level, at every cadre of this organization. So this was meant to be a quick video with some quick tips. I hope that you found it useful. If you want to engage with me further, you can leave a comment. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. My name is Adedoyin Jaiyesimi on LinkedIn. Or you can also send me an email to adedoyin@thecomsavenue.com. And yeah, let's talk. Bye.